Well, good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor. There's a lot to get through on this Monday, but first, meteorologist Nathan Scott joins us. And happy Monday to you, sir. It's a beautiful day out there, but it has a little chilliness to it as well.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. It's a little deceiving out there. Yes, we've got blue sky, lots of sunshine, but you step outside, especially in the shade, and there's a chill to the air. That's because we had that cold front make its way through on Sunday. That has ushered in some much cooler and much drier air. Here's visible satellite. We've got some clouds into East Arkansas. Temperatures, though, are still into the 40s across a large part of Arkansas. It's 51 in Arkadelphia, 50 in DeQueen, and 54 in El Dorado. Temperatures today will probably only top out into the mid to upper 50s area-wide, probably staying into the 40s in northeast Arkansas. And then skies will be clear tonight. The winds go calm and the temperatures plunge down. A freeze warning is in effect pretty much for all of Arkansas. And what does that mean? That means the mercury dives down into the 20s in many spots, especially in the outlying areas across central Arkansas. So 29 is expected low in Hot Springs, 25 in Clinton, 29 in Camden. And that means you need to protect your plants. Bring any sensitive vegetation in or cover them up with a light sheet, a paper bag, plastic container. Use plastic as a last resort. I'll let you know what plants are most susceptible to a freeze coming up.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Well, this afternoon, residents are hoping to shake back at the rounds of severe weather moved through the state last Thursday. Today, we're seeing cleanup efforts continuing in those areas hit hardest, like in Hot Springs Village, where an EF2 tornado touched down. Left behind, down power lines and fallen trees. As leaders work to clear that debris, the village manager says he plans to get assistance from state and federal officials. The city of Maumelle also on the road to recovery. Residents there were left with severe flooding that led to dozens of rescues by the fire department. And as you can imagine, vehicles and property were also ruined, including the Maumelle Fire Department itself. Fortunately, though, we have not received any reports of serious injuries. Well, turning now to one of our most viewed stories on THV11.com. The family of a girl killed by her boyfriend and former Arkansas State football player is speaking out following the arrest of her killer. If you've been following this story, then you may recall former ASU player Blaze Taylor was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. This concluding a months-long investigation by the Nashville Police Department into the poisoning death of Taylor's pregnant girlfriend, Jade Benning, and her 5-month-old fetus. Jade's mother reached out to THV11 and says in part, quote, "While we understand the public interest in this case, we urge all parties to refrain from speculation and allow the legal proceedings to unfold in accordance with due process," end quote. At this time, the family is requesting for their privacy to be respected. In the THV11 update, Jacksonville police are piecing together the details in a shooting we've been following since last week. Progress being made in their investigation with a suspect now in custody. This man, 31-year-old Reginald Dwayne Kelly, has been arrested and is being held on 2 counts of attempted capital murder. Last Sunday, police responded to a shots fired call at Wingate Square Apartments shortly after 3 a.m. That resulting in 2 people being taken to the hospital. There's no word on their condition. Former President Trump yet again finding himself in the center of negative attention. Comments he made sparking outrage from federal leaders, including members of his own party. CBS News' Nicole Skanga has more from Washington.
Former President Donald Trump is clarifying comments he made in Ohio Saturday, warning of a bloodbath.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
The former president posted on his social media Monday that he was just referring to auto industry imports. But he's also drawing criticism for his characterization of migrants.
These are animals, okay?
Some fellow Republicans are bristling.
The general tone of the speech is why many Americans continue to wonder, should President Trump be president?
Former Vice President Mike Pence told CBS's Face the Nation why he won't back his former boss for president.
I see him departing from the mainstream conservative agenda that has defined the Republican Party over the last 40 years.
President Biden is pushing his own re-election agenda with stops out west this week in Arizona and Nevada. He holds a significant cash advantage over Trump, and his campaign is planning a $30 million ad blitz in battleground states this month. A handful of states are holding primaries on Tuesday, including Florida, where Trump will cast his ballot. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
And happening overseas, tensions remain high as Israeli troops spent the night raiding the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza. Local authorities say the operation led to a fire in the complex, resulting in casualties and ceasing communications. This all comes as Israel's prime minister continues to call out for a ceasefire. However, says the use of military force is needed to get what they want.
We're going to keep on trying because we want those hostages back. We understand also that the one thing that gets Hamas to give them is to give these hostages to us is the continued military pressure that we're applying there.
More pressure coming down on Israel to allow more aid into the territory. Hundreds of Palestinians waited in Gaza for relief. However, residents say the aid is far from enough. As the Israeli prime minister pushes ahead with military action, U.S. President Joe Biden urges for peace on both sides. Biden kicked off St. Patrick's Day at the White House with discussions on what he calls an urgent need to increase humanitarian aid in Gaza. The president continues to push for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas and is still trying to sort out a solution to make that possible. Well, on a lighter note, here at home, celebrations kicked off for St. Patrick's Day in Hot Springs yesterday. It was a sea of green as the world's shortest St. Patrick's Day parade made its way down Bridge Street. You may have joined the many people who were drawn in from all over the state. Folks were out as early as 8 a.m. to get in on the fun, yet again, making the city a hotspot for tourism.
It's one of the biggest weekends in Hot Springs. Spring break is in general, starting in the beginning of March. We will stay busy through the fall.
Officials are already looking forward to doing it all again next year and say you should check it out if you haven't already. And we're weeks away from another highly anticipated celebration, 3 weeks to be exact, before the solar eclipse makes its way through Arkansas. Well, just about every sector has begun preparations with thousands expected to flock to the state, all the way down to Arkansas's largest brewery. Wake Up Central's Hayden Valgavy took a trip to Lost 40 for a look at a new collaboration to bring you the best and finest beer during totality.
We actually all went up to New York City and got in the same room and talked about if we all wanted to brew the exact same beer or if we wanted to be a little bit different. And because of the geographical locations, we decided to go with different styles.
The Hellas Stock Beer can features the exact timestamp of when totality will happen. The team behind the magic hopes you join them in raising your glass on April 8th. World leaders are doing everything possible to get a grip on climate. Next, how a number of states are aiming to do their part to combat the crisis.
And out there today, temperatures are below average. Even with plenty of sunshine, temperatures only topping out into the low to mid 50s area wide. And then it turns cold tonight. Once again, we're talking about a freeze warning in effect. How long will this cold snap stick around? I'll have that answer coming up.